Bill Clinton led the Democratic Party as a nominee and then president before much of the party trekked to the left on welfare, trade, and criminal justice reform.
And by only giving AOC 60 seconds to speak, the DNC seems to be trying to cement that Bill Clinton-like future for the party. Piece from The Cut says, quote, "It's one thing to try to open up a Big Tent. It's another to actually let people on the left and in the next generation into that tent in some meaningful way. Instead, Democrats are treating progressives and young people as cater waiters there to serve hors d'oeuvres to the Republicans, billionaires, and former office holders who are the real guests."
The party's in an interesting position from where I sit. You know, on Monday night, we saw Senator Sanders say that Vice President Biden could be the most progressive president that we've ever had. But that was just a few minutes after John Kasich, the governor of Ohio, Republican governor of Ohio, said that Biden wasn't going to do any of that left-wing stuff. And, you know, the party is trying to live in a world where both of those things are true, where they can sort of speak to two sort of, you know, atomized markets of voters, both like young progressives in cities who are fired up about politicians like Bernie Sanders and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the squad, at the same time as they try to win over some of these sort of white working class and also maybe moderate and traditionally Republican voters. And, you know, that's difficult, but that's also Democratic Party coalition politics. You know, this is a party that both strives to represent the folks who are activists fighting pipelines as well as the unions who build them. And sometimes, you know, there are ways to create bridges in those coalitions. I think, for example, a big infrastructure package, a big investment package that helps the economy recover from the coronavirus pandemic and recession while taking on the fight against climate change is a way where you can actually create alignments in that coalition. But in other instances, you know, there is a certain zero-sumness to the politics. One of those that I was tracking this week was a fight around the DNC party platform, where there had originally been language put in there by climate activists to repeal subsidies for fossil fuels. And then news broke on Monday, actually by Alex Kaufman over at HuffPost, really great reporter, who found that the party had actually removed that language from the final text of the platform. And what was notable about that is that actually Biden has committed to repealing those fossil fuel subsidies, something that his policy lead, Steph Feldman, highlighted later this same week. And so, you know, how we are able to create a coalition, a majority out of the electorate that spans a pretty broad diversity of age, race, class, ideological preference, and then how you're able to govern with that coalition that has sometimes, you know, interests and policy preferences that contradict each other is no easy task. And, you know, I think that the job of sort of savvy activists and savvy, you know, policymakers is to understand that, you know, we need to find ways to govern that address the broadest crises that are popular and that avoid sort of the pitfalls inherent in such a broad coalition in sort of becoming our own worst enemy and fighting ourselves over the things that we know that we have to get done, like getting this country out of this pandemic and this crisis.